Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit BillHowe.com. And by the Conrad Trebas Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsian. We begin tonight with an update to a KPBS investigation. A county official who made crude remarks about dogs in animal shelters is not at work for now. KPBS investigative reporter Scott Rodd says members of the public are demanding accountability.
Department of Animal Services Director Vaughn Maurice told staff in an email that Assistant Director Rachel Borelli would be out of the office in the near term. A county spokesperson declined to provide more details. The email came as KPBS published a story last week about a profane voice message Borelli sent. In it, she complained not enough dogs were being euthanized.
Those words were words of someone who shouldn't be in her position.
Loretta Alva is a resident of Lemon Grove. She signed a Change.org petition calling for Borelli's removal. It's received over 2,000 signatures so far.
I think the county board of supervisors needs to reevaluate what's going on now in the county shelters.
But the county's elected leaders have been silent on the issue. Supervisors Joel Anderson and Jim Desmond declined to comment when reached by KPBS. Supervisors Tara Lawson-Reamer, Monica Montgomery Stepp, and Paloma Aguirre did not respond to a request for comment. Scott Rodd, KPBS News.
If you have a tip for KPBS's investigations team, then you can send an email to investigations@kpbs.org, or you can message them on our secure signal line at the number on your screen, 619-594-8177. Today marks the beginning of a new era at San Diego International Airport. Our media partner KGTV got reaction from some of the first passengers to arrive at the new Terminal 1.
We were just in Hawaii talking about how this one's, I fly all the time, how this one's opening. And yeah, it was just like yesterday talking about this. So the fact that we landed here, I didn't know it was opening. So this is all very cool.
Loving it. I had no idea that it was a total surprise when we got here, and we're here. We made it back home.
The new Terminal 1 officially opened today. It features 30 restaurants and retail stores, thousands of parking spaces, and up to 30 gates. But as one chapter begins, another one closes as demolition begins for the old Terminal 1, which opened in 1967.
History. It's sad, but bittersweet.
I think it's time. I mean, it's been here forever, and I guess you just need new things.
The demolition of the old terminal will take place over the next 3 months. It will make way for the next phase of construction, which will see 11 gates added, infrastructure upgrades, and more amenities like customer lounges. As the first passengers arrive in the new Terminal 1, they're receiving a warm welcome to the city through art. Coming up, we take a closer look at the installations and hear from the artists behind them.
Weather headlines here as we head throughout the next couple of days. I will be tracking that rainfall slowly pushing its way up to the north, so we will see a drier forecast going forward. Overall, it's going to be sunny, mild, and breezy here for the rest of the week. And overall, as we head into the weekend, your Saturday and Sunday looking pretty nice as well. I'll have an updated look at that extended forecast coming up.
The Department of Homeland Security has one important partner in its effort to fill new immigration enforcement jobs. That is the Pentagon. KPBS military and veterans reporter Andrew Dyer says one marquee program is off to a slow start.
DHS's videos posted on social media paint a picture. Immigration enforcement is action-packed. Masked agents carrying rifles, dressed in fatigues and combat helmets arrive at a home in the dead of night. Quick cuts, flashing lights, infrared drone footage. Then the beat drops as the agents march middle-aged men away in handcuffs. The scenes are reminiscent of those from 20 years ago during the invasion and occupation of Iraq, when U.S. troops were engaged in the war on terror. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem hasn't shied away from the war analogy. strategy. She makes the stakes clear in comments this spring.
When I took the oath as the Secretary of Homeland Security, I pledged that I would work to protect the American people from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And let me be clear, we have enemies living among us.
This summer, Congress passed President Trump's big, beautiful bill, funding immigration enforcement to the tune of $170 billion.
It allows ICE to hire 10,000 new officers.
Noam talked about the infusion of cash just before the bill passed.
It also will provide $4.1 billion so that we can hire 5,000 new CBP officers as well as 3,000 new CBP border agents.
Almost 20,000 people leave the military each month, and DHS is looking to them to join the administration's crackdown on immigrants. In a memo this summer, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordered the military services to push separating members over to DHS jobs. It emphasizes the SkillBridge program, an internship where service members can work at civilian companies full-time during their last months of service, all while collecting their military pay and benefits. The program's website now is dominated by multiple banners advertising opportunities at Customs and Border Protection and ICE.
Basically, right now, the push that we're seeing is law enforcement.
Martin Rivera is a veteran staffing consultant at Work for Warriors. We met up with him at a military and veterans job fair in San Diego this month.
There's been a new awakening for the field of public safety, aside from politics or whatever you want to see.
Police from San Diego, Pasadena, and the Port of Los Angeles were recruiting, as was the Federal Bureau of Prisons. But the only booth with a line while KPBS was there was CBP. Layron Bray is a CBP officer. She says, from her perspective, doing recruiting, not much has changed.
I think Customs is always hiring, especially here in the San Diego area, because we have the San Ysidro Port of Entry, which is the largest land border port in the world. So we always need people. Carlton May is an Army National Guard veteran who's been out 5 years now. He says the transition hasn't been easy.
It's actually been rough. I wasn't properly transitioned on life after the military, so I've just been kind of scuffling here and there.
In the Guard, he worked in intelligence, but now he's looking for a more corporate work environment than to put on another uniform.
Law enforcement, not necessarily my thing, but pretty close.
Rivera says organizations like Work for Warriors are here to help service members navigate what can be a challenging time.
Are you trying to get a job or are you trying to get a career, right? We can do both. Let's get you making some money, right, while we process you on a career.
DHS has removed age restrictions on its deportation officer positions and is offering signing bonuses up to $50,000. It's also promoting the fact that candidates don't need a college degree. On social media, the agency and its spokesperson share clips of ICE agents manhandling protesters, reveling in the conflict. We will not back down, the agency says in one post. Barbara Walter is the author of the book How Civil Wars Start and How to Stop Them. She's a professor at UC San Diego and an expert on extremism. She's concerned about the growth of ICE and who will fill these jobs. She compares ICE with secret police forces in authoritarian states. She says ICE appears accountable only to Trump.
America's version of the brown shirts. It is absolutely clear in my mind that that's what's happening here. And it's already happening because they're not accountable to anybody but Trump right now. And they're anonymous, and Congress has given them, so much money to expand. And of course, you would want to fill it with individuals who are likely to be deeply racist and sexist and brutal. And because he's going to be using them for brutal means.
Noam now says ICE has received more than 150,000 applications and has issued more than 18,000 job offers. It did not respond to questions about how many of those are veterans. We asked each military branch how many transitioning service members have applied for DHS internships through the SkillBridge program. Only the Army provided numbers. Since Hegseth's memo in May, 3 soldiers have applied. Andrew Dyer, KPBS News.
A federal judge handed huge win to the University of California system. The Trump administration has been ordered to restore more than $500 million in research funding to UCLA. The University of California enrolls 300,000 students and have leading scientific researchers in many areas. Earlier this year, the administration began investigating allegations of anti-Semitism on UC campuses in LA and San Francisco. Over the summer, more than $580 million in research grants were blocked from UCLA. Jimmy Kimmel Live is returning tonight, ending a nearly week-long suspension. ABC's parent company Disney says it paused production on the show to cool tensions over Kimmel's comments following the assassination of Charlie Kirk. But as Maribel Gonzalez reports, some major ABC affiliate station owners say they will continue to keep the show off of their airways.
Our long national late nightmare is over, because Disney announced that Jimmy Kimmel Live will return to air.
Jimmy Kimmel Live will be back on ABC tonight, but not in every market. Sinclair and Nexstar, two major local TV station owners that played a pivotal role in the show's suspension, say they will continue to preempt Kimmel locally.
I think they're on wrong footing. I think they're acting a little too high and mighty to try to dictate the situation here.
The Kimmel controversy erupted after conservatives criticized the host's monologue. He suggested Charlie Kirk's killer was affiliated with the Make America Great Again movement. Then, Federal Communications Commission Chairman Brendan Carr suggested his FCC could move to revoke ABC affiliate licenses as a way to force Disney to punish Kimmel.
I saw there was a letter from some Senate Democrats that said the FCC threatened to revoke the license of Disney and ABC if they didn't fire Jimmy Kimmel, and that did not happen in any way, shape, or form.
More than 400 artists penned their support of Kimmel in an open letter organized by the ACLU. The late-night show host suspension prompted protests and public calls to boycott Disney Plus and Hulu accounts.
It's not fair, and I really support the First Amendment right and our right to free speech.
A source familiar says Kimmel is planning to address the controversy in tonight's monologue. Maribel Gonzalez, KPBS News.
I'm Jeff Bennett. Tonight on the NewsHour, President Trump uses a speech at the United Nations to rail against global migration. That's at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS. This month marks the one-year anniversary of Public Matters, a partnership between KPBS, iNewsSource, and Voice of San Diego, focused on local reporting. I'm Jake Gatto, reporter and social media host for KPBS and Public Matters. The idea was to provide San Diegans with news and conversations that help them engage with the political process. We want to give people the tools to understand what's going on and know they have the power to make a change. Tomorrow, KPBS will be hosting a panel of journalists to talk about the first year of Public Matters. Maya Trabulsi will sit down with Amitha Sharma, Scott Lewis from Voice of San Diego, and Jamie Self from iNewsSource. They'll take a look back at all that's happened in the last year and talk about our coverage from our housing series and Whose Backyard. They'll also discuss things like California's redistricting process and Project 2025's impact in San Diego. Then I'll host a live Q&A to answer audience questions. You can submit your questions ahead of time at kpbs.org or post them in the comments on YouTube tomorrow during the show. In the meantime, you can catch up on our coverage and learn more at kpbs.org/publicmatters.
A new detox center at Father Joe's Villages in downtown San Diego opened its doors today to people experiencing homelessness. KPBS health reporter Heidi DeMarco says they're calling it the first of its kind in the county.
3, 2, 1.
Homeless advocates say detox services for people experiencing homelessness are one of the biggest gaps in the local safety net. In 2024, 291 homeless San Diegans died from drug overdoses.
Sadly, treatment options for this population has been few and far between.
Josh Bohannon is Father Joe's Village's chief strategy officer. He says that up until now, there were only 2 Medi-Cal-eligible detox beds in the city of San Diego.
That means if you didn't have private insurance or you weren't wealthy and couldn't pay out of your pocket, you were waiting for one of 2 beds to be able to handle your substance use disorder. For a city with 1.4 million people who faces a mental health and substance use disorder crisis everywhere you look, 2 beds was pretty much a slap in the face.
Father Joe's says it's helping reduce wait times by opening 44 new beds. The program is Medi-Cal eligible, meaning it's available to people regardless of income or insurance.
What sets our detox program apart is its holistic approach. We're providing 14 days of intensive care and treatment for people experiencing homelessness. Everything's been considered to make this a one-stop shop for people who need help, including shelter, meals, healthcare, and even space for their beloved pets.
After detox, people who complete the program won't be left on their own. Father Joe's coordinates steps in recovery, including outpatient programs, residential treatment, sober shelters, and housing support. Today's opening also comes as demand is rising. A change in state law last year, Senate Bill 43, broadened who can be held involuntarily for treatment. San Diego County projects 1,500 additional mental health holds this year. It's putting even more pressure on hospitals and crisis centers to find places where people can go for treatment.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And at noon today, Father Joe's opened those doors to its very first clients. Heidi DeMarco, KPBS News.
Father Joe's Villages is a corporate sponsor of KPBS. The KPBS News operation maintains editorial independence from KPBS executives, corporate underwriters, and from donors. This week, passengers began streaming in and out of San Diego International Airport's new Terminal 1, where new public art installations highlight the region's natural beauty. KPBS arts reporter Julia Dixon-Evans explores the unlikely art museum.
When driving up to the departure gates at the airport's new Terminal 1, the first thing you might notice is art. A gigantic hot pink jellyfish welcomes travelers. Artist Matthew Mazzata's Rise sculpture.
For me, I travel all the time, so an airport is obviously, it's like a culmination of, society's best, I don't know, important for me in an airport is always about identity. When you land a place, does it feel good? Is it welcoming?
The jellyfish is made of painted stainless steel and cane mail. A mesh created by the Lord of the Rings armor and weapons art director based on the chainmail costumes he made for the Middle-earth characters. Mazzata says the sculpture is intended to warn about rising sea levels.
But it's about sustainability, the footprint, the whole thing. And so in this case, it's called Rise because if we don't pay attention to it, at one point there might be a jellyfish where this jellyfish is.
An airport may seem like an unusual place to find art, but Alita Lee, public art program manager for the airport, says it makes sense.
Sometimes the airport can be a really stressful environment, and art provides a way of entertainment in terms of maybe distraction or a way to get your mind off things and not be so stressed out.
As travelers line up for security, a glance upward reveals a suspended, leafy structure shining in reflective gold. It's artist Nova Jang's Torii Pines, inspired by the rare tree species. Other new works include a pair of red and yellow mythical bird-inspired outdoor sculptures, a sound-responsive LED light fixture, and a series of mosaic columns capturing the transition from sunrise to sunset, using 1 million individual tiles. Terminal 1 now has a gallery space and 8 permanent artworks, including several relocated from the old terminal, plus a curved window installation that serves as the main wall of the terminal's ticketing area.
So I really hope that passengers just get a taste of what San Diego has to offer and what's represented in this artwork, but also come feeling a little bit more joyful about their experience at the airport.
Public art in the new terminal had a price tag of $10 million for commissioning, installation, plus a future phase. For Mazzata, the hope is that the art ultimately improves the traveling experience and the place itself.
I think that cities have figured out if you invest in public art, it makes the whole thing better. It is a very efficient way to give people a touch point that brings identity. It brings joy. It's like wayfinding, landmark, the whole thing.
Julia Dixon-Evans, KPBS News.
And in case you didn't already know, Julia Dixon Evans is the host of KPBS podcast, The Finest. It explores the people, the art, the movements redefining San Diego's cultural identity. And you can listen now at kpbs.org/thefinest or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to check out the new episode that is out this Thursday.
As we head throughout the next couple days, I will be tracking a rainy weather pattern here across parts of Southern California. The timeline is going to be between Tuesday night throughout the day on Wednesday. We'll still see some more of this subtropical moisture being funneled across the region. But once again, here for far southern parts of California, including San Diego, most of that moisture is going to stay well to our north. So the 5 between San Francisco and Los Angeles, that's where we're going to see the highest rainfall totals going forward. But for San Diego, hey, take a look at this. Low clouds near the coast, overnight temperatures in the mid-60s. Pretty mild start here for your early Wednesday. The rest of the region here for tonight, we'll see lows dip ranging from the 50s to the 70s here for tonight. But overall along the coastline will be pretty nice. Oceanside, Camp Pendleton getting down to 65. Future track radar is showing once again all that rainfall from Los Angeles up through San Francisco there along the 5 for your Wednesday. But here for San Diego and Southern California, morning clouds along the coast, but those clouds will give way here as we head throughout the afternoon. As far as that rainfall we are tracking, once the rain slowly lifts its way to the north late Wednesday afternoon, it will lose some overall intensity, so we will see those showers slowly starting to rain themselves out. But it does look like we'll see some redevelopment here as we head into early parts of Thursday, especially across the mountains. We could even see some snowfall. But overall here for your Wednesday, tracking that rainfall across Central California. It's going to be warm. It's even going to be toasty across parts of the desert Southwest. Temperature-wise here for your Wednesday afternoon, widespread 70s along the coast, 80s and 90s there along the interior. Triple digits for the deserts and 70s there for the mountains. For your coast forecast, take a look at this. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures in the 70s. Really nice forecast here going forward. Inland forecast, temperatures will take a dip into the 70s on Friday, then rebounding back into the 80s by the weekend. Across the mountains, we'll see temperatures dipping into the 50s Friday and Saturday. That'll be a cool start. And then across the desert, we'll see triple digits Wednesday before temperatures trail off heading into the weekend.
The San Diego Padres will get another shot at winning its first World Series. Last night, the team clinched a spot in the playoffs. This is the first time the Padres have reached the postseason in back-to-back years since 2005 and 2006. Our media partner, KGTV, asked a few fans how excited they are to see the Padres make another playoff push.
Definitely exciting. I wish I was here last night. But that's not one of our nights to come. My grandson was here though, so that was kind of cool. And I didn't tell him I was coming to get a shirt because he left early, and it's his fault for not staying.
But we're going to make it this year. We're going all the way. I'm a native California, San Diego, Old Mercy Hospital. Go Padres. We got to go this year.
Yep, she sure does have faith. As it stands now, the Padres would play in the wild card round in Chicago against the Cubs. Matchups will be finalized when the regular season ends on Sunday. Girls flag football is growing in popularity. High schools across San Diego County have teams. KPBS education reporter Katie Anastas says despite the name, the game is becoming a little bit more physical.
High school flag football now has an official rule book. It's bringing changes to the game as Classical Academy's team enters its third season. Daniel Salas is head coach.
There's a lot of contact this year. A lot more than last year, that's for sure.
One big change involves the rusher. That's the player who runs toward the quarterback to try and keep her from passing the ball. This year, rushers are starting much closer to the quarterback, and there are more of them.
In years 1 and 2, they had to be 7 yards away. They can send 1 or 2 rushers. They had to indicate by I'm rushing with a hand up. So we really knew who was coming.
Now rushers are starting 1 yard away. Instead of 1 or 2, up to 7 players can go after the quarterback. And players don't have to indicate that they're rushing first. That makes the game more unpredictable and fast, especially for the quarterback.
Now her reaction time has to go a lot quicker. Her decision-making has to be within 1 second.
That change is bringing more contact to the sport. The same rules still apply. You can't extend your arms out or stick out an elbow.
You have to make sure, like, not sticking your knee out.
But wide receiver and linebacker Grace Staley says it's more fun.
Really, I've always been, like, an aggressive player, so it's kind of been fun for me. I can really, like, you just, like, pull flags, but this time, like, you really can, like, kind of get up into people and kind of knock them around a little bit.
Mary Hayes is a senior who plays wide receiver. She says it's harder to pull off deep passes to receivers.
There's honestly just, like, kind of less receivers out there because of the blocking. So I think that's a big change in the game.
Salas says this year's scores are lower.
Well, we're now in the 20s and 30s. The last 2 years, we were constantly in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
He says teams are getting better as girls flag football becomes more popular. The number of girls playing flag football in California grew by more than 25,000 players between 2023 and 2024.
All the athletes have improved. Everyone's faster, stronger. They're excited about it. So now, I mean, every game is a tough game.
Hayes has seen the growth during her 3 years on the team. And while the game's roles have changed, her team's love for it hasn't.
It's definitely changed, but I think our team chemistry and culture, like, none of that has changed. Like, we've been able to stay constant in that, and it's still a blast. It's just a little bit of an adjustment with the rules, but I prefer the way it is this year. It's a lot more fun.
16 states have official girls flag football programs. More than 20 others have pilot programs. The sport will make its Olympic debut for both men and women at the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. Katie Anastas, KPBS News.
Here's a look at what we have for you for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. NPR's Morning Edition talks with an advocate for people with autism about the Trump administration's new guidance about taking Tylenol during pregnancy. And KPBS Midday Edition is diving deeper with Andrew Dyer into his reporting about who federal officials are looking to recruit as immigration enforcement officers. You can find our stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Have a great evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit BillHowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. By viewers like you. Thank you.